Yay! Season 3 is here. In today's episode, we dive into what it means to go from silence to voice, a shift that can change everything, with our incredible first guest, Ryan Cassata. Ready to be inspired to find your own voice? Stay tuned for an amazing episode and let's keep moving forward together.
Hey, this is Steph, and welcome to the Together Moving Forward podcast. Season 3.
Hello everyone, I'm Steph Vachon and I am a human being. Welcome back to the Together Moving Forward podcast, finally loving and respecting ourselves. This is a podcast for the 2S LGBTQI community, along with our friends, allies, and all human beings. If you've ever struggled to fully love and respect yourself, you're not alone, and this podcast is here to help. As someone who has navigated my own journey of self acceptance as a queer, I know the power of hearing voices that reflect our experiences. In this podcast, you'll hear real stories and conversation that leaves you with practical tools, fresh perspectives, and the confidence to embrace who you are with pride. I'm so excited to be here with you for today's episode with our first guest of season 3, singer, songwriter, and activist Ryan Cassata. To start, I need to say that I'm not a psychologist, a specialist, or someone with a college degree. I'm just a regular guy here to share with all of you and support each other. I won't tell anyone what to do or how to do things. Instead, I'll share my journey and we will all share journeys together. We'll learn from each other how to move forward. Before I go any further, if you like this podcast, please subscribe now and share. It might seem like a small gesture, but it truly makes a huge difference. Ryan Cassata is a singer, songwriter, activist, actor, and a public speaker. But above all, he's a voice for resilience and truth. From coming out as a trans teen to navigating the music industry to inspire millions with songs like Daughter, Ryan's journey is nothing short of powerful. In this episode, we'll talk about his childhood, his music, and what it means to live authentically. This conversation is about going from silence to voice, the shift that can change everything. Let's go meet Ryan right now. So, hello, Ryan, and welcome to the Together Moving Forward podcast. I'm so excited you're my first guest of season 3.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
So, let's start with where it all began. What was your childhood like growing up on Long Island?
Yeah, Long Island's kind of a trip. I mean, it is growing up on an actual island, and I grew up on the water, so it was definitely a thing to do, like write a message in a bottle and send it off in the local canals, or just like jump in the water randomly at any time, even though the water was really really dirty, and go to the beach a lot. I went to the beach at night a lot as a teenager, which was super fun. My childhood was, there's bad moments, there's good moments. I experienced like a lot of grief early on with people close to me passing away. So that was definitely something that was really rough for me. Very early on, I started playing music. I was 6 years old when I started playing guitar. So my parents were like supportive about that. So that was a great positive outlet for me throughout my entire life that I could remember. I realized I was queer at when I was 12 years old, and that's when I started my coming out process. And by the time I was 14, I was out as trans. So yeah, I did like. I feel like my childhood is kind of like loaded with all of this stuff because I came out really young and I started playing music really young. So I feel like not much about me has changed since
Mm.
childhood. So
And how was it with your parents, your family?
my brother was great. When I first came out to my older brother, he was the first person I came out to. He was really awesome about it. And then my little brother was also good about it once he like understood more, which didn't take very long, like a few weeks. But my parents were not great about it at first. My mom was, she was like, there's nothing you can do about this. Like she, back then, like trans was really like an unheard of thing, especially to
Mm.
like cis hetero people. So they didn't know like what was happening. They had never heard of like trans people really. So they didn't they didn't know. And so my mom was like, just put it on the back burner. It took her about a year to come around and start calling me Ryan and her son and use he him pronouns, and then she became like my biggest ally and supporter like through high school. And my dad did not accept me at all like my entire time in high school. So that was really really rough
Mm.
for me to be misgendered so much. And when I was 18, this is like almost a year after graduating high school, I got my top surgery, and that is actually when my dad came around.
And how was it in your school?
My school was rough. There's definitely a lot of bullying. I actually experienced more bullying from the staff and the teachers than the students.
Oh,
So,
really?
which was hard because now there's like this power dynamic. So I had to
Mhm.
really become an activist early on and like do petitions and get like other students to sign them, and walk out of classes and do all kinds of things like that just to be able to like go to school. Like all I wanted to do was like go to school, be able to use the bathroom at school, be able to change for gym class so that I didn't flunk out.
Mhm.
So my school is making it like really, really difficult for me. And then they started to support me more and more, like as I explained it more to them. Because at the time there was nothing in the code of conduct of my school to protect students from getting bullied on the basis of gender identity or sexuality.
Mhm.
So a law passed in New York State like after I graduated called the Dignity for All Students Act. So now it's different than it was back then. But once I like explained it to the principal of my school, he was like on my side. But like people would still try to mess with me. Like the school nurse one time, like I would have to like sign in to this like sheet every time I used the bathroom in the nurse's office, which was like ridiculous, like several times a day, just like signing in. And I would always sign in like Ryan Cassata. And then one day she was like, "You have to sign in with your birth name." And I was like, "Why? Like I've been signing in as Ryan this entire time.
Mhm.
Why is it suddenly different right now, you know?" So I'm signing in as Ryan, and then she wants me to sign as my birth name. And now this is like a list that like whoever goes to the nurses station is gonna see this list and see my birth name listed on there, and it would just be like humiliating for
Yeah.
me. So I went up to the principal's office and I explained what was going on. And I was always like very good at explaining in a peaceful way to
Mhm.
the authorities of my school and wherever else I was. So the principal actually like the vice principal came down to the nurse's bathroom and was like, "Ryan could sign in with whatever name he wants. He could sign in as Superman for all I care." Yeah, so the
Good for
principals
you.
became cool, but it was always like a fight, it was always a struggle. And now my high school like really appreciates me now. Like I changed a lot of things while I was there. I won the first ever Harvey Milk Memorial Award when I graduated high school, which was a big deal because Harvey Milk graduated from my high school.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, so it was like a huge honor for me. I think it was the first and only Harvey Milk Memorial Award, and I try to go back to my high school like every 1 to 3 years to just keep educating
Mhm.
them. It's been a while now since I've graduated. I graduated in 2011, and I've been there several times since to just keep educating them.
That's really good. That's really cool of you to do that. Wow.
Yeah.
You had more support from the kids in school than the teachers and the principal.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes for sure. There's definitely like certain staff members that were really on my side the whole time, like
Mhm.
Miss Maisie, the school social worker. Like she was like she like saved my life in high school, honestly. Like I ate lunch with her every single day because I was kind of like outcasted and no one really wanted to eat lunch with me. So yeah, so there were certain people that really showed up for me in a big way.
Your story has touched so many people. When did you first realize that your voice, both musically and personally, could make a real impact?
I realized it really early on, honestly. I think probably what really made me understand that was when I was on the Larry King live show and I was 15 years old. And this is at a time where like trans is like really underground, especially trans men, especially young trans guys. Like I didn't know anyone else my age that was trans. So when I went on the Larry King live show, it aired a month later, and I received letters from all over the world from trans people, like hundreds and hundreds of letters, like physical letters and emails, MySpace messages. Facebook wasn't really a thing yet back then, but yeah, I got a ton of people writing to me telling me that like they thought they were the only one until they saw me.
Hmm.
And it was like it was so such a big feeling to me. Like um it reminded me of of the song Message in a Bottle by The Police. Like he's saying, I'll send my SOS to the world. I hope that someone gets my message in a bottle. And then like the last verse of that song, he's saying, I woke up this morning. I don't believe what I saw. 100 million bottles washed up on on the shore. It seems I'm not alone in
Hmm.
being alone. 100 million castaways looking for a home. And it really felt like that. Like, whoa, suddenly now I'm connected to like trans youth all over the entire world. And we were all started talking, and they helped me as much as I helped them. And
Hmm.
maybe they helped me even more than I helped them. But it really made me understand my purpose. And at that time, I was going and speaking at a lot of middle schools and high schools, and I would speak to like the entire auditorium, like the entire school, like hundreds of people at once, like, and I was their age. I was the same age as them. So because it was like peer to peer, it just had a further impact for them
Hmm.
because they were like, "Oh, this is another 15-year-old speaking to me as a 15-year-old. Like, I'm gonna listen more because of that."
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's what I spent a lot of time in high school doing that. And by like senior year of high school, my school actually like would not mark me absent if I was going to speak at another school and had to miss school that day because of it. So
Hmm.
that was really that was really remarkable of my school to do that.
Your song Daughter hits so many people right in the heart. Now, with your new album, Greetings from Echo Park, did you approach songwriting differently this time around?
Yeah, I mean, I approached the creative process differently for sure, but songwriting has always been something that I try not to think about that much, honestly. Like I can feel when I'm about to write a song, and sometimes that feeling is like in me for a few weeks, and sometimes it's a few days, and it like gets like stronger and stronger the closer I get to actually like writing the song. Um but like it's just a feeling that like I can't shake it off, you know? And I start like thinking like, "Oh, okay, like I'm going to write this song about this topic probably." Like I'm thinking about this a lot, and I'm like lyrics are popping into my head, and like, you know, at first they're like nothing like significant, nothing I want to share with anyone, but it keeps like building up, and then suddenly I'm just like, all right, I just got to get my guitar and write the song. And the songs usually come out like really quickly for me. Sometimes like, I mean, I wrote Daughter in like 10 minutes. Um,
Wow.
and like other songs that I've written, yeah, like less than an hour, 2 hours. Like I write really quickly. Because I wait for that inspiration to strike. I don't like writing songs when I don't feel inspired. So, with Greetings from Echo Park, I wrote the majority of the songs like within the last year and like recorded them close to when we were like wrapping up the album. Um, and I knew I like it took a while to release the album because I didn't feel like I had my like staple track of the album yet. which was the song I Feel Like Throwing Up, which
Hmm.
is about my journey, like going through my experience with Lyme disease so far. Um, but that song, once I wrote that song, and I wrote that song quickly, um, on a night that I was like super sick, and I did end up workshopping the song after I wrote it, which I usually do not do, but I was like, oh, this melody like is catchy, but like the lyrics aren't they're not good enough yet. So I rewrote it the next day, and I was like, all right, yeah, this is the song that like I'm gonna send to the record label and be like, yeah, this is like the direction we're going. And then it was like hard to find like a producer for the song, and then I ended up running into Mark Peely from the band Magic. They had that hit song Rude in like 2013. So I like bumped into him in one of my doctor's offices, and he just became my producer, and it was definitely like a magical moment for me.
Hmm.
The whole thing, like the whole process of like doing the album. But like I did experiments a lot on the record. I learned a lot, and I put what I learned into the record to make something that I've never created before. So as a whole, like I'm really proud of the album. It's really raw. It feels really like my journal is on display, like all the hard things that I've gone through in the past year because of the illnesses. Like, yeah, like that's all in there for people to hopefully understand better. And like, I just want it to bring a sense of like humanity to people and be like, hey, like, we're all actually going through like really hard things. And if we could be a little bit more kind to each other and have more grace with each other, like
Hmm.
life would just be easier for everyone here.
No kidding, right? What has it meant to you as a trans artist to be signed with a label like Kill Rock Stars?
Yeah, it still feels unreal, like if surreal, I guess is the word. It feels like I when I came out, like I never thought I would make it this far in music for sure, and I never thought I would get the attention of a label. It was something that I had dreamed about, but I was just like, nah, like that's not gonna happen. And Kill Rock Stars is such like a legendary label, and their values are just like the same as mine, and so it felt like just the perfect fit. So I reached out to them and I was like, all right, what do I have to lose? Like I'm just going to reach out to them.
Mm.
Why not? And yeah, they got back to me super quick. Yeah, they signed me within a few months, and cuz paperwork and all that stuff, but I like even now saying it, like it just feels like really surreal, and I feel like really honored to be on this label, sharing, being label mates with people that are like my heroes is super
Mhm.
cool.
You're a fierce advocate for trans rights and LGBT plus visibility. Do you ever experience activism or burnout? And how do you protect your energy?
Yeah, I definitely get activist burnout. I actually like didn't know that was a thing until I went to grad school, where I actually studied like faith rooted activism. But that wasn't until like 2021. So I was just like going. Like I had never been on like a vacation for like by myself, like as an adult, like never been on a vacation. Like I like if I was going somewhere, it's because I was like playing a show or giving a speech. Like
Mhm.
so I just was going, and then I at school I learned like, oh, like you could actually give more if you take the time to rest and
Mhm.
practice self-care, and like we have to stay grounded as activists, because if we do get burnt out from doing too much, then you can't do anything.
Mm.
And that could take you out for a long time, and it's better for any social justice movement for us to like take breaks and recharge. Like it's about recharging to go out there and do better, so you're not just like a dead battery out there.
Is there a specific fan story or performance moment that really with you? A time where you felt the impact of your work in a big way?
Yeah, I actually have a story from just last week. I played a show in Los Angeles, and it was a show that was like it was a free show at a bar, that has like a built-in audience. So I didn't promote it all that well. And a lot of people ended up showing up for me, but I didn't put that together until like after I was off stage and people were like buying my merch and saying like, "Oh, I came for you. I came for you." And like sold all my merch, and I was like, "Okay, what's going on here?" Like all these people came out for me and it was weird. It was cool, but it was weird, like I wasn't expecting that. And then the next day, like I talked to everyone and like shook hands with everyone and stuff. And there was one person there, and I knew that he was coming to the show, that I had met when I was younger because I spoke at his high school before he even transitioned. And he wrote me such a beautiful letter the next day on Facebook, um, about how my music has been like a staple in his life and in his transition, and how like he's now been listening to me for like 15 years, and that it was just felt like so full circle, like every hard thing that he went through with his transition and like navigating it with his family, like
Mm,
he found like safety in my music. And like I didn't know all this, and I was very touched by it. And just to know that like wow, that like I spoke at that high school not knowing that I have made an impact on someone that like is like half as long as my lifetime right now,
mhm,
like that's crazy to me. And just thinking about that, like are there other people out there that like feel the same way? And like it just goes to show like how powerful it is to share music and to share our stories and to be outspoken about being trans, because you don't know who's going to relate to your story. And when people do relate, it just helps them to feel not so alone anymore. And it's so important for us as humans to feel like we belong and to like have
mm.
connection. And yeah, just to feel like we're really like in this together, like as human beings, and we've got each other.
Yeah, that's why we have to keep showing up and showing up even more and more.
Definitely.
Now, if you could go back and talk to 13-year-old Ryan standing in the middle school classroom, what would you tell him today?
Yeah, I think I was so sad when I was 13. I was like really like that was probably the hardest year of my young years, I would say. But I was relentlessly bullied at that point in my life, and I felt so alone, and I was so confused and everything, and scared. But I would just say like just keep going and being yourself, because like eventually you're not going to feel like this anymore. And not only that, but you're going to have like an impact and be someone that other people like look up to, and make other people not feel as alone either.
That's a great message. Thank you.
Yeah,
That's
of
really,
course.
I know you're really busy and everything, and that's really, really generous of you.
Yeah, thank
I'm
you so
really
much for
thankful.
having me on.
So Ryan, thank you so much. I'm sure you're going to inspire a lot of people right now. Good luck with your new album, and we'll be following you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ryan, thank you so much for joining us today. Starting this season with you has been a real gift. The way you speak about your childhood, your art, and the courage it takes to live authentically leaves us not only inspired, but also empowered. Your music and your story bring so much hope, and I know this conversation will touch so many lives. What a beautiful way to launch season 3. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it, leave a comment, and let us know your thoughts. My dear friends, it is already time to say au revoir just for now. So please join me for another episode of the Together Moving Forward podcast next Wednesday. Everybody, share this podcast and spread the good news. By sharing this podcast today, you will help someone find the strength to embrace who they truly are. Wherever you are from in the world, we are all connected. Remember, solidarity beats hate. The more we unite, the stronger we become. Because at the end of the day, we are all equally human and we all deserve the same rights. One last thing before I go. Put your hand on your heart and repeat after me, all of us together. I am a beautiful representation of love and resilience. Yes, I am a beautiful representation of love and resilience. Please subscribe now. Your follow helps me keep this podcast alive and growing for our community. From shame, guilt, silence, and rejection to pride, freedom, healing, and love. Together moving forward. My dear friends, see you next week. Ciao.
Subscribe now and share to uplift, empower, and make a real difference in our community.